It's Halloween, and we're celebrating Voidtober this month. I know I've been having a rough time here, but I figured I'd put out one last list video for you guys today that you can pick up some movies to watch for Halloween, and these are ones that I want to watch, so let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a list that I chose for horror movies that I want to watch this Halloween, and I think you should watch for this Halloween, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas to watch. This just happens to be my list, and hopefully you can find something out of it that you'll enjoy. I will give you every place that you can watch these online. There's only one that you can't. And if it's not available digital, or if there's also physical media, I'll post it all linked down below. There's timestamps down there so you can jump around to your heart's desire. All right, let's get spooky. Now, first up is a gift that was given to me by Resolution. It's a movie I've been wanting to watch for a very long time. In fact, they sent me so many damn movies that I have been having a hard time actually doing the haul videos. It's taken me a year because I've gotten hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of movies from this person. So thank you. Happy Halloween to you and your family. I hope you're doing well, Resolution. But this one is Silver Bullet in 4K, a Stephen King story with Corey Haim and Gary Busey that I think is pretty damn fun, and it's been so long since I've seen it. I need to watch it, and I'm going to watch it. So this isn't necessarily a review. It's more of like a, hey, I remember liking this movie and I think you should watch it. All of these movies I've seen before, by the way, and this one I have. It's just been a very long time and I've been eager to watch it. So what's it all about? Well, Silver Bullet came out in 1985, and it is a movie about a boy who's wheelchair bound in a small town, and brutal killings start to plague the close-knit community around him. And Marty, a paraplegic boy, is convinced it's all being done by a grisly werewolf.
There are no such things as werewolves.
And he has one of the coolest fucking wheelchairs probably ever. I think when I was a kid, I wanted to be, no, I'm not gonna say that. I wanted to have that damn vehicle though, that's for damn sure. Look at this thing. Stephen King wrote the story, and they used this thing perfectly, and Corey Haim at the time was really popular. A lot of kids my age at the time really liked Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. You know, this is before everybody didn't know very much about Corey Feldman, I guess. But there's some people that still do. No hate, no shade. This one is directed by Daniel Attias, this was his first feature film ever to be made, and his last. Apparently he never made another feature film, and so he went on to do a lot of TV shows, many seasons of many different shows all over the spectrum. If you like movies that are kind of nostalgic, but that whole small town vibe, got that 80s creature thing going on that we all love, even though the werewolf effects are a little iffy, Gary Busey is actually pretty amazing in this film, and it's often kind of remembered as something a lot of people really enjoy as like a comfort horror movie for Halloween, and I believe it even takes place on Halloween if I'm not mistaken. I can't say that for sure, but someone correct me. Anyway, it's a little cheesy, it's a little heartfelt, it's got a really cool message in it, it's a great story from book to screen, and I think you should check it out. It's part human, part wolf. Total terror.
Stop killing the dead.
Up next, we got De la Morte de l'Amore, also called Cemetery Man. So yes, this is a Michele Soave, Italian film director who made a really weird Evil Dead art house picture film that was amazing. This is the Severin 4K release, the FU edition, which is amazing because it has both the Blu-ray, a ton of extras, the soundtrack, and a 4K in it, which I love. But yeah, this thing looks phenomenal. But Severin put it out. And if you've never seen this movie, I don't know what you've been doing with your life, but you need to get around to watching this. Cemetery Man came out in 1994. It's also known as De la Morte de l'Amore. It's a cult classic art house zombie movie. It feels kind of like an Evil Dead movie with like a Fable-esque sort of thing going on, and like a comedy thing present in it too. A cemetery night watchman, Francesco Della Morte, must kill the dead a second time, actually, because they keep rising out of the graves that he's tending to. Him and his partner, Nagi, who is a dim-witted gravedigger, go on some pretty crazy adventures with a lot of really weird, crazy zombies that are kind of alive in some ways and kind of not. He falls in love with this amazing, beautiful girl in this movie, and he has some, let's just say, issues with, having sex. And that's a big part of this movie because it's got a lot of horniness, it's got a lot of blood and guts, and it's got a lot of really weird comedy in it, mixed with that art house and amazing set design. It's really kind of surrealistic and an Italian comedy mixed together. But yeah, I love this movie. This is a great watch for any Halloween, I would assume. You can actually watch it on Tubi, or I'll put a link down below for you to pick it up. It's got zombies, guns, sex, oh my.
Too smart for you, huh?
Up next, one that I don't actually have a physical media for that I need to get, and it's actually a pretty rare copy, to be honest with you, is Ernest Scared Stupid. And yes, this is a silly, freaking weird movie. And it was one of those movies that a lot of kids were not really fond of because it was scary. And the practical effects on it were just amazing. So it is obviously Ernest. Ernest goes to jail, prison, and all these other places. Ernest was like a very big star in the 80s and 90s, and he made so many different movies, but one of the best is definitely Ernest Scared Stupid. This is definitely a beloved Halloween comfort movie. Essentially, it's a story about Ernest, the crazy guy that he is, a plumber and everything else kind of all-around guy, accidentally unleashes an ugly troll that plots to transform children into wooden dolls, which is pretty scary for a child, by the way, in the town of Briarville, Missouri. And boy, does it get really silly, schlocky, dumb. You know, a lot of people didn't like this movie when it first came out, but as we've gotten older, it's one of those things that you just kind of fondly remember, and it's kind of grown on me over the years, so.
How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
I haven't seen it in a while, and I said, you know what? I've been meaning to watch this for Halloween forever, so it's time. And I wanted to put it on the list here to let you guys know this is what I'm going to be watching. The director of the movie has done every Ernest movie, TV show, everything. John R. Cherry III. So it's no surprise that this would be also one of them. It's a PG film, and, you know, it's just one you gotta see. You know what I mean, Vern?
What's the matter?
Up next, we got one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead, which is a New Zealand film by the director Peter Jackson, who went on to do incredible, large, ginormous films that it's hard to watch those now because they're so long. But Dead Alive is one of the movies that he made in interim to trying to make a United States film. He was making a lot of really crazy films at the time and just doing a lot with the money that New Zealand was providing him to make these movies. And kudos to New Zealand, man. What kind of country allows you to make movies like Meet the Fucking Feebles, Bad Taste, and Dead Alive? Like, it's insane. Some of the bloodiest, goriest, craziest, most ridiculous movies I've ever seen. But Dead Alive, by far, is some of the best gore ever made. In my opinion, some of the greatest gore gags ever shown, characters that I just absolutely can't stop watching, quoting, and coming back to a million times. It's literally like my #1 favorite movie of all time. And I talk about it a lot, but I had to include it because I was just in the mood for it. This movie came out in 1992, although it probably came out a little bit sooner in New Zealand. A young man's mother is bitten by a Sumatran rat monkey. Yes, she gets sick and dies. She comes back to life, and he's not really sure why. So he treats it like an illness, which is he puts his mother to sleep multiple different times with different types of drugs to try to keep her at bay so she doesn't go around killing the neighborhood, eating dogs, nurses, friends, neighbors, you know, regular zombie stuff. But some of this stuff is some of the greatest, craziest dialogue that you could just requote over and over and over again. Like,
I kick ass for the Lord.
Or,
Your mother ate my dog!
not all of it. There is so many lines in this movie that you will be quoting. I just can't stop watching it. I absolutely love it. Please give a shout out if you love this movie as much as I do. This is Peter Jackson's splatter masterpiece, and if you've never seen it, then you have to stop whatever you're doing. Find a copy that is not online right now, by the way. We're still waiting on the 4K, and I swear to God, I'm going to sell my liver just to get a copy of that. But it's considered one of the goriest movies ever made. It desensitizes you as you watch it. It's seriously one of the funniest masterpieces ever made. Definitely taking a nod from Evil Dead, for sure. The main character, Lionel, definitely plays that kind of role where he befuddles his way into success of everything. It's creative and totally insane, and you must watch it. Now, I will put a link down below for you to check it out. It's on DVD and Blu-ray. There's like weird copies. I'll put it like an Amazon link so that you can figure it out for yourself. But yes, check it out. There are very different many cuts. There's like an R-rated, uncut, and then fully uncut. I would highly recommend trying to get the Brain Dead uncut. This is the US uncut, which still is missing like 3 minutes or so from it. Check it out. There's something nasty in Lionel's basement. His family. All right, up next, we're getting down to the last two. Haunt, which is by the directors who actually wrote A Quiet Place and then went on to actually help make the movie Heretic, which is actually pretty cool. This movie, completely different, not as in-depth as Heretic, by the way, admittedly, but it is a surprising movie because it could have been so much more meh, and it turns into something so much more cool. What turns out to be like a haunted house gone wrong turns into so much more, and it is not your typical haunted feature. Like when I first popped this movie on, I was like, what's going on? This is probably not the best acting. I don't know if I can get into this. And sure enough, things change about 30 minutes into the movie. And then it's like the 3 acts are very strong. So the first one, you're kind of like, what's going on? People die, people get challenged, and then there's a twist, and then another twist, and it just goes on. This one is definitely worth the watch, obviously, because it takes place on Halloween. But it's surprising, much like a lot of these films that we like to watch. On Halloween, a group of friends encounter an extreme haunted house that promises to feed on the darkest fears. The night turns deadly as they come to a horrifying realization that some nightmares are actually kind of real.
And they never end. Oh!
Anyway, Scott Beck and Brian Woods did the work on this movie. It starts off really basic, guys, but just wait for it. The simplicity wears away, and all the cool stuff comes into play. You get into some pretty cool gore, some pretty cool like situations where you're like, who's bad, who's good? How are they going to get out of this? It's really great. But I would say check it out. You can check it out on Tubi, Plex, Shudder, AMC Plus if you'd like. But some monsters are real.
What's that for?
Make sure he's dead.
All right, last but not least, for the 6 Halloween movies that you should probably watch that are my list. I don't know what I'm going to title it, so hopefully you forgive me. Let's get into the last one. And it is a modern horror favorite, by the way, that a lot of people missed the time that it came out because it came out in December. And that is The Autopsy of Jane Doe, which, if you've never seen this movie, let me tell you all about it, my friend. This one came out in 2016. It is about a father and a son who basically work in a coroner office where they investigate bodies to see why someone died, and usually with police stuff, so they're working for the government basically to find out like what happened. And they get this woman, a Jane Doe, that's basically doesn't have a name, and they got to figure out what happened to her. And suddenly it turns into some pretty intense scenes, some great performances. The setup feels like kind of like a thriller, but then it turns quickly into a supernatural nightmare that is so good. But yeah, the performances in this movie that you see from Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch, which this is one of Emile Hirsch's earlier films. He's done a lot, but he's done a lot of different roles. He's playing a young son in this one, which is really weird if you've seen him in other roles, you know. Brian Cox has been in everything, so it's just great to see him in it. There's an elevator scene in this movie with the two of them that does really good work, and it's very believable because they don't really get along. You know, the father has aspirations that he wants to basically impose on the son, and the son doesn't want to do them anymore. He wants to be in love. And so there's this friction going on while all of this stuff, this crazy supernatural thing is going on. And there is some things that they did in this movie that the director, Andre Overdahl, who is credited with doing Troll Hunter, which was a pretty damn good movie about trolls, a found footage kind of way, and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is very fitting for his style. And then, of course, he's done so many other things since then. But this one has like a gimmick in it that involves a bell that is probably one of the most effective means of bringing a scare to the front. It is masterful in the way that they used it to try to elevate that horror, the intensity, and the scares, and it's really good. I love what they did with this. There is some beautiful cinematography, some situations with fire that are just amazing. I don't even know if it was real fire or CGI, but it looked amazing to me. Anyway, if you've never watched this movie, it's time to check it out. It's up on Shudder, AMC Plus, and Tubi if you want to check it out, so you have no reason not to see this movie. Everyone has their secret. Watch this movie. All right, guys, that's it. That's everything. That's the entire list. It's only 6. I figured I could get 6 up before the bell rang for Halloween. I have another list that I'm going to be putting up for my weekly watch list that I'm sorely late on, and I hope that you forgive me, but it has just been very difficult. Plus, you know, I'm trying to enjoy my Halloween as well a little bit. But I hope I brought enough, I don't know, films that you'll want to check out in the future, or at least now, that might be good for you to check out for the Halloween season. I hope you've been having a great Halloween, if not the Voidtober that we are trying to celebrate here. But thank you for always supporting this channel, being a part of it. I hope that I can bring more movies to you, talk about ones we know, talk about ones you've never heard of, books, comics. I got everything that I want to talk about. I love horror, and if you like horror and you want to find out and discover new horror with me, let's go. But thanks for coming by. Let me know what you think about these movies in the comment section down below. Which of them would you prefer? What is your number one of these picks? And what do you think of some of each of these movies? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit the like and subscribe button and come back for some more. But thanks for coming by, and as always,
Happy Halloween, everybody!
long live the void.